Greetings and welcome to another episode of Q Points Podcast. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is Jay Ray, sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay the Third. What's happening, people? And what's up, IG people, too? We live over there.
Absolutely. Q Points Podcast is the podcast dropping the needle on Black music history. And as Jay Ray said, we are omnipresent. We are on your Twitter feed. We're on your laptop. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. And we're on IG. So there's no need to, you can't resist. Resistance is futile. Jerry, what's going on with you?
Nothing, man, listen, I am glorious and grateful. I think I said this on the show a couple of weeks ago. I am grateful for, I'm sure, a Black person that invented air conditioning. I'm sure they are Black, and I am happy to have AC because it's hot out in this world right now. And correct me if I'm wrong, y'all had a huge rain thing that just happened today, right?
Oh, yes. Over the past couple of hours before we started this broadcast, it was like a mini monsoon. Just like when I was leaving the gym, I was like, oh, yeah, the sky's about to open up. You know how the light and the clouds are shafting and it looks really majestic and beautiful. But at the same time, it's like, oh, Mother Nature's about to clown. So let me get where I need to go. And it was so bad that I thought I went to Kroger to grab a couple things and thinking, oh, yeah, I should be good, even though I could hear it was raining outside and really coming down. But I was like, I got an umbrella. I'm straight. I got this.
What happened?
I went out there, man. The wind and the rain was like, F your umbrella, sir. They were like Dave Chappelle kicking the couch, like F your couch, F your umbrella. And I was like, I'm not even going to try and run to the car because that could result in me falling and injuring myself even more. So I was just like, it is what it is. My back was completely soaked. My little footy socks was soaked. But hey, I am here, all dried off and ready to discuss, to warm it up. And J. Ray, we're really about to warm it up with this episode.
It's going to be so hot. It's going to be a lot of moaning. But listen, before we go there, so Sir Daniel.
Yes. We
are about to travel to a place where you grew up.
Go Brooklyn. Go Brooklyn. Yes, indeed. Q Points Podcast. We're about to be on the road again for a little. It's not for a long time, but it's for a good time. And we've been asked to be the media partner.
Yeah.
For a really great event that takes place in Brooklyn. This is their...
I think this is their third or their fourth event.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell them about it.
Absolutely. So we are a media partner for Banji Boombox. It's a QT BIPOC festival collective that celebrates, amplifies, and provides safe spaces for the voices of women, non-binary, and LGBTQIA+ artists, DJs, and musicians. And we are going to be hanging out with them in Brooklyn. The event takes place on August 3rd. So we will absolutely make sure that we share all of the information on our socials and all of that. But definitely follow Banji Boombox wherever you are. So all over the socials, that's Banji, that's BANJEEBOOMBOX. And your boys will be in the building. Shout out to Banji Boombox for asking Q Points to be part of this. We're really excited to come to Brooklyn and share some dopeness with y'all.
Absolutely. So all of our New York peoples, from the outer boroughs, even Jersey. You know, we're going to be there. It's going to be for a few hours. Please come out and support, see your boys.
Hmm.
You know, touch our hands, shake our hands.
Yeah.
You know, we might have some surprises on us, and you just never know what's going to happen when J Ray and Sir Daniel are in the building. And we love live events like that. We
Yes.
love being with the people and seeing people in person and getting to say hi, because we really appreciate how much you have all have taken us under your wings and take us everywhere to listen to this show, this wonderful show that we call Q Points Podcast and J Ray. This episode, we've been threatening to do this for a minute,
Hmm.
but now is the time and now is the place.
Hmm.
J Ray, we are about to discuss the Janet Jackson Slow Jam Appreciation. Anytime, any place. As you see, I've lowered my voice. I'm going to get a little breathier. And, we're just going to start off the conversation because Janet Jackson, low key, is the queen of slow jams. And I want to start this off. You made a brilliant discussion, a brilliant differentiation between slow jams and ballads in one
Yeah.
of our previous shows. Go ahead and hit them with that again about why it's so important to make a difference, to make a distinction between a slow jam and a ballad.
Yeah, so it's so interesting because the delineation is really fine. Like you can first of all slow jams are ballads, but not all ballads are slow jams. So that's kind of the delineation.
There it is.
So ballads exist in any genre. So you have a ballad in all genres. It is a very common form of music. Slow jams are really specific in that they are really tied closely to black tradition. So they are really tied closely to R&B music in particular, soul music in particular. We also have slow jams that are hip hop joints, right? But
Hmm.
the difference between the two is the groove within the song, right? With a slow jam, Sir Daniel, and we've seen this, people be nodding their heads and grooving. You can snap your fingers and you can nod your
Hmm.
head to that slow jam. That bass is going to be giving you what it needs to give you, and the artist is going to be melodically bouncing over that groove. Whereas a ballad tends to be more straight ahead. So, perfect. Let's use Janet Jackson for an example.
All right.
If we take the Janet album, for an example, Sir Daniel just mentioned the title of this show, Anytime, Any Place. Anytime, Any Place is a very classic slow jam, right? You can groove to Anytime, Any Place. On that same album is Again. Again is a ballad. And when
Yes.
you put those two side by side, it makes it really clear, like, oh, this song is a ballad. It could sit in any genre, whereas Anytime, Any Place is squarely an R&B song.
And let's take another Janet. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Let's take another Janet um streak here. The Control album. We have Funny How Time Flies, but then we also have Let's Wait a While. It's the subject matter also. Let's Wait a While is a ballad and it's very chaste. It's very, I just want to
Yes.
make sure that you love me before I give myself to you.
Hmm.
Whereas Funny How Time Flies is like we getting it in and we getting it in so hard and so often we don't even know what time of day it is. So
Yes.
yeah, so you guys, so there's a really big distinction between the two. But we're talking about this, Jerry, because Janet has been all over the news lately.
Hmm.
And because the tour that she is on is such a huge success,
Yep.
and she's everywhere, and it's like we love to see you. We love to see
Yes.
Janet standing in her iconness and her legendary status, and people are just eating up the shows. Everybody said the microphone is on. You
Yes.
know, the choreography is on. Everybody is stretched and limber, so everybody's having a great time.
So I had the opportunity to watch the Essence performance.
Hmm.
And the thing that I absolutely love, and Janet has been doing this for a number of years, is that it is very clear that she has a command of her strengths,
Mm.
that she understands her place in music history and her place in pop culture history, and that she is aging gracefully on stage. We have seen so many artists in her same age range, right? That are trying to be young, that are jumping around this stage, that are doing these things that are just age inappropriate. Amen. And we're
Amen.
watching Janet, one, get on this stage and is like, I'm 58 years old and I'm still serving, right? In an
Yes.
entirely new way. The songs still sound fresh because they've reworked the arrangements of them. The choreography still works. Janet is in and out of that choreography because guess what? She can't dance the whole thing and sweat it out like she used to do before. It's just she's 58 years old. That's not a thing. And not only that, she's a 58-year-old mom. And so there are just things that she is clear about. And I love watching that.
Absolutely. And I love that for her. I love that for us. J
Yes.
Ray, on this past, July 13th, you know what happened on July 13th, 31 years ago?
What? Oh, yes, I do.
The If single was released. So we were talking about the Janet album in particular. And what was so significant about that album, and particularly the rollout for that album, is that Janet would typically hit us with an up tempo,
Hmm.
high energy video concept, video, something to get pack the dance floors, right?
Hmm.
Janet was completely a different mood. It was like the first single was so mellow. That's the way Love Goes was just so chill and so
Hmm.
laid back. A very beautiful video with just her and the dancers
Hmm.
just, kicking it in a room and, vibing to the song.
Hmm.
And we loved it. We ate it
Yeah.
up, right?
Hmm.
But she said, "But I got something for you for this second single." And when
Right.
July 31st, excuse me, July
John
13th
13.
rolled around and the If video dropped,
Yeah.
it was pandemonium, Jerry. It's pandemonium because, and that song to this day, we were talking about her performances on the tour.
Hmm.
She cannot perform If to this day without doing the breakdown.
Yeah,
We'll
that
be mad if she doesn't do the breakdown.
we would literally be mad. And even though now she doesn't do like the full all out breakdown, she still has to do a version of it because guess what? Everybody is going to be doing the hand motion and then the on top of the thing. We all know the thing. And I think we need to set the stage for this too. So Dominic Senna, what's so significant about the If video too is it was directed by Dominic Senna. Dominic Senna is actually the dude who also directed the Rhythm Nation short film. So the album
Mm,
before, the
hmm,
Rhythm
hmm.
Nation short film, Dominic Senna did that joint, and we know how powerful that 30-minute short film was. I think it was about 30 minutes, but it included all the videos,
Yes.
including the thing that I feel like really set If up, I think is the Miss You Much ending. Remember
That's
the
the end?
ending. That's the end? No.
No.
Right? For those of us that were there in that moment, we remember when them chairs came out and it was like, whoa, there's a
Hmm.
chair routine that's happening. And I feel like Dominic just understood the importance of, and Janet understands the importance of dance and theater Like that's
For
her
sure.
bag. Like she gets that. And so if is all of those things. There's like a gajillion, what seems like a gajillion dancers. I there's rare times when we would see Janet and Michael were known for this, where you would get like a bunch of dancers in a music video dancing succinctly in
Hmm.
choreography, but Janet mastered that in a way that I felt like was very special. But if when that joint came out, I remember thinking it was weird. I'm like, Janet looks similar as like that's the way love goes, but then I'm guessing like, oh, it's a continuation of kind of like we're going from this to
Hmm.
this. And man, they smashed it. They smashed that entire video.
Absolutely. You know what? You're absolutely right. They did follow that color pattern
Yep.
does follow throughout all the videos for that Janet album. And yes, the orange, the reddish orange hair and everything blowing in the wind. And but so okay, so I'm a DJ, so I had to look this up. You know why we all know that the breakdown is coming because we hear the very distinct sound of dun, 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 dun. Do you know that this particular song if is made up of three remarkable samples? So that first one, the dun, 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 that those strings that we hear, that's actually a sample from Diana Ross and the Supremes. Someday we'll be together.
It
And you would
is.
never think that tune, Someday We'll Be Together, that very happy-go-lucky cherry tune, would lend itself to such a high energy dance number. And then we get to that I, I just found this out. The sound that we hear, that that's used in I said before, the Real Roxanne Bang Zoom, which was a huge record in Europe. That's actually a musician by the name of John McLaughlin and his song Honky
Honky
Tonk
tonk.
Haven. And to follow it now, a beat that we've heard all the time, that
Yep. Yep.
we hear that in SWV's Right Here,
You
the
hear
Human
the
Nature remix, and quite a few other songs. That is from the Lafayette Afro Rock Band, and the name of that song is Hihachi. I hope that I'm pronouncing that correct. Hihache. And yeah, that song, Jimmy Jam, for Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis not to be hip hop producers, quote unquote, they mastered samples.
they
They mastered them samples and put it together in such a dope way. They were using break beats at just as much as Pete Rock and whoever you want to mention on the hip hop side.
Yeah, man. Like, thank you so much for highlighting that because I think that's a part of music history that's really important, and it's the part that I think so many people try and run from today. Is it wasn't just sampling for sampling's sake. These samples all mattered for the construction of this song, where it was these layered chops, where
Mhm.
if you know, you know, but if you are people like us, you want to do the research and you want to know, like, what is this drum pattern? What is this intro? Like, what is all of this stuff? And because those folks understood music, part of the craft of just creating a song is realizing that there's a lot of history to pull from. And If is a song that continues in that tradition. And one of the reasons we like If, to your point, Sir Daniel, is because it has all of these little things in it that
Mhm.
lead you back to a generation before. Real quick fun fact. Also, on they apparently were just in their Diana Ross and the Supremes bag on the Janet record because You Want This has the sample of Love Child. Ding,
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 ding.
ding. It sure does. You're right. You want this? Another dope video, high energy video. MC Light got a really good look
Whoo, that was a
in
good
this
look for
video.
her.
That was a really good look for her and pushed her over the top. But you know what else is funny about, and we're gonna get to the slow jams
Of
aspect of
course.
Janet, but we want to pay homage to this moment of If. Um, can we talk about how Janet was ahead of the game with this Japanese Asian
Yes.
motif throughout the video. It was futuristic. There was artificial intelligence all throughout the video, and now here we have we've got Meg The Stallion, Watashi all over the place.
Yep.
With the kids are doing this Watashi dance and TikToking all over the place, and Japanese culture is has always kind of had this parallel dance with black culture, and they definitely take from each other, have taken from
Yes.
each other. But Janet was ahead of the curve and had that in the video, and she's done that in quite a few videos. The Doesn't Matter
Matter. Yep.
video
Does yep.
has a huge Harajuku influence in the video. But and we can't wrap up this conversation without shouting out Tina Landon and Omar for their
Absolutely.
choreography, because we ain't dancers, but like J Ray said, we can do that hand movement and be in sync and got that part down and go to the left and then go to the right.
Yeah.
Oh, anybody can do that. And that's thanks to Tina Landon and Omar and their dope choreography. And I still, whenever those videos pop up, J Ray, on the timeline of the making of videos
Yeah.
and like the rehearsals, I have to sit and watch and just like, damn, did y'all know y'all were gonna turn it like that?
So there's two things I want to, as we wrap up this piece and get into the slow jams. There's two things that really caught me about Janet, in particular, as we researched for our first show. If you haven't watched our first show, by the way, on Janet Jackson, you'll definitely need to check that out. Two things. One, there's a making of If that you can watch on YouTube. I see that we have Carlton is on Instagram, so I'm sure Carlton has absolutely seen this making of. Shout out to all the
He's
folks,
our
by the
resident
way.
dancer.
Yes. Shout out to Mark McPherson, who's joining us on Facebook. We have Black Women Stitch, Carlton, Kyriakos, Loso, so many people joining us on IG. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us. Shout out where you're from. If we got folks over on YouTube and Twitter, shout us out. Let us know where you're tuning in from. But two things I wanted to point out. Janet really respected dancers.
Yes.
Like there was a moment I was in the watching of that making of where a dancer is being corrected in some way. And Janet steps in and she's like, oh, actually, that's probably me. I'm probably late. They're probably right. So, and I love that, like that moment of stopping and saying, no, 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 no. I know why you're saying that. And it's probably not them. It's probably me. I think I'm late. So that note on there, and Carlton just said it, that was Shawnette, where it was like, oh, and then Janet steps in and is like, no, 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 that's not her, that's me. That's power.
That's professionalism. That's always being a student and knowing that you never stop learning and that you're not beyond or above some type of correction or teaching, a teachable moment.
Yep.
And that's what makes her a great and makes her the great. So J Ray, you ready for this? You ready to
Listen, I feel like I need to
down?
lean in. I feel like I need to lean into, because
You know,
we're gonna talk about Miss JJ. And, okay,
Janet
Sir
and Slow
Daniel.
Jam.
Sir
Yes.
Daniel, you know what it was? You know what it was that you knew the Janet records were about to shift. There's a
Oh, talk about it.
listen.
Speaking of the monsoon, talk about it. Talk about
Speaking
it.
of the monsoon, and because we are from the Quiet Storm generation of growing up, right? We grew up going to sleep to the Quiet Storm, right?
Right.
When a Janet Jackson record was slowing down, that music would fade and you would hear that thunder. Right. You would hear that thunder and that rain would start to fall. And there it is. Mark just said it. When that rain came, you knew it was time to get it in. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. Just like Kyriakos is saying, the queen of rain. You are going to get a rainy forecast with Janet Jackson with a chance of orgasm.
Yeah.
on one of her albums. So let's just get into it. All right. So, and what we're seeing is the earlier part of this conversation, we were talking about Janet as a dance artist and somebody who understands the theatrics of a really good performance.
Yes.
So that adds to her duality as an artist because she's a full-on Quiet Storm artist as well.
Mm-hmm.
She has had so many songs in rotation in the Quiet Storm that you cannot not have her in the conversation of slow jams and ballads. A lot of artists don't have that kind of duality. A lot of artists can do high energy and can you know do mid tempos, but
Mm-hmm.
not everybody can do a slow jam and do a ballad that like Janet can, and that has made her a staple in Black radio.
Absolutely, positively agree. So we don't. I think we are beginning to give Janet more credit for this now, but we talked about this in kind of the last segment where Janet is a student. So
Hmm.
she understands that she is sitting in a tradition of performers needing to be able to do it all and understanding that somewhere along the way, I don't know if it was the working with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis that kind of helped her get this, but the longevity comes in her ability to record these kind of baby making songs.
Hmm.
We all know for a fact that over the years we've heard there are certain artists where babies have been conceived to their music.
Yes.
And she has figured out that two, one, I can be on radio for the rest of my career if I
Hmm.
make these songs, and two, I can insert myself into some of the most important and intimate moments in people's lives. Janet Jackson has been part of people's lives in so many different ways, not just on the dance floor, but in the bedroom.
I would stay up every weekend until 2 a.m. to listen to Mr. Magic and Cool DJ Red Alert and record their shows. I wish I still had those cassettes.
Man, so in the summertime, I would flip between BET and MTV all day long and record music videos on those big VHS tapes.
Videos changed everything. I would catch the number 4 express because it would get me home quicker to watch Video Music Box. And on Fridays, Uncle Ralph only played hip hop videos, so you know it was on.
Yo, I wish we had Video Music Box here, but listen, music, culture, and history from a Black perspective. Q Points is all about the music that shaped our lives.
And if this is music to your ears, check out Q Points wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Did you have a beeper growing up?
Did I? Speaking of being in the bedroom, I think Janet is also, in her own special way, pioneered the idea of women receiving satisfaction or creating their own satisfaction. And she was not shy about doing that in the song.
Right.
So while we were getting ready for this show, y'all, I reached out to our friend to our show and also, and a radio pioneer in Atlanta. I reached out to our friend Tasha Love to ask her because Tasha was music director over at V103 for years. And I asked her, I said, Tasha, was there ever an issue or any kind of mandate that we had to edit out Janet's moans and her subsequent orgasms at the end of these songs? Because several of these songs,
Yeah.
she's finished.
Yes.
Janet got hers, y'all.
She did.
It is no secret that she got hers at the end of these songs. But I was wondering for censorship purposes and whatnot, was that a thing? And apparently it was not. I Probably because of how late the Quiet Storm was on, they figured those kids should have been in bed anyway.
Right.
But also, um, Tasha made mention that she'd spoken to Jimmy Jam at a Grammy Academy Academy event where she was interviewing him,
Mm-hmm.
and she asked about that whole process about recording these particular types of songs with Janet. And I think that we've all heard those stories where Janet has said, "Listen, I ask all of them I ask the studio engineers and everybody, y'all gonna have to turn these lights
Lights
down,
off. Mm-hmm.
and the light here in the studio, the vocal booth, is going to be completely off."
Mm-hmm.
And so that I guess people are always their imaginations are running with like, what is she doing in the vocal booth to
Giving
get
us
these
life.
sounds? What is was Lisa Marie Presley right? Sorry, what you doing over there that you can't pick up the phone with your hands? What you doing over there?
Oh, it's gonna swell up and fall apart, Jesus. Um, shout out to the Velvet Rope. So to that point though, Sir Daniel, as well, I do. Janet, to that point, also, this was an 80s trope. I just needed, but it's my favorite 80s trope, Sir Daniel.
Mm,
Because funny how time flies has it. If in the 80s you needed your song to sound sophisticated, you put
yeah.
some French in it.
Ah, oui, oui, is our friend Kipper in here because
It's Kipper because Kipper did, yeah.
Kipper is the king of throwing in some French in the
Yeah.
beginning of a song, a la Vanessa Williams, the right
Yes.
stuff.
Listen, you want your song to sound sophisticated, you put some French in it. But to that point, because I was always curious, Janet is definitely a shy, she's on record as being like a shy woman.
Hmm.
And it makes sense that the lights would have to come all the way down in order for her to be able to deliver the stuff that she was able to deliver. Because, yeah, like, I don't know that. Funny how time flies in particular sounds very real.
I mean, to go to if you're gonna cry like Penny, why not be able to fake an orgasm? You know, it's
Sure.
continuity. It's called breadth, width of talent. You know, that's that's called being able to go into your bag as an actor and be able to pull from certain no pun intended to be able to pull from certain inspirations. But you know what Janet has also been able to do though, she's been able to take these experiences that we feel one on one with her on record or on the radio where she's in between our ears, but she's also been able to take it and translate it into a live show.
Yeah.
And here we have another example of, Janet putting women's sexuality at the forefront and
Hmm.
saying, ladies, we're in control here.
No pun
Let's ask
intended.
for, no pun intended, let's ask for what we want. Let's take what we want and let's really, turn out the party.
Hmm.
And she did that by also implementing like this burlesque element to her shows. And someone in
I
particular,
do.
J Ray, that has the honor of not being experienced this once but twice with Janet Jackson.
I do. Shout out to Ron. But yes, this is a real thing where Janet would pull folks from the audience to
Mhm.
end up. And they've been different iterations of it over the years. If you watch the Essence show from even this year, she did a version. Tame. It's Janet. It's 58. She
Very
grown.
tame.
It's not the same. It's going to be a little. She going to put a leg out. She going to pull it back. It ain't going to
Right, right,
be.
right, right.
Before it was like I'm gonna just take all my clothes off and like da da da. But anyway, Ron was part of the experience where she would actually, they would be bound on on the stage, and then Janet
Restrained.
Yes, they would be restrained, and then Janet would do her dance to them. And I remember very specifically because I saw on one of the HBO specials where she would literally climb up onto
Hmm.
onto them and like do a gyration. I wouldn't have been okay. I wouldn't have been able to take that. I wouldn't have been able to take none of it. I would have been like, listen, I guess I'm straight now. I don't know. I think I'm straight now.
And Janet's not a big woman. Janet's a petite woman, and these
Yes.
are big men, and they always had them on these big contraptions to restrain them. And she, like, seeing her climb up on these men, these grown men, and watch them be reduced to puddles,
Puddles. These men's
literally,
faces.
are where they were just never the same after that. And your friend, he experienced this not once but twice.
Twice.
I don't think, if it was me after the second time, I'd be like, oh yeah, me and Janet go together real bad. You know, we're on the show together. Real, we do this. This is our thing now. So yeah, yeah. She don't care that we see other people, but we do this.
Yeah.
We're a couple. You wouldn't be able to tell me nothing. Because Janet Jackson has pulled me up on stage not once but twice. But I think, this is how you know she's a legend and an icon. Plenty of people have tried to recreate that same moment
Yeah.
in their own special way. If you recall, remember when Destiny's Child did their own version at one of those BET Awards and had, what's his name, Terrence Howard and a couple of the other
Oh,
black
yeah. I
celebs
think
on
Nelly
stage
was
with
part of
them,
that, I believe. Yeah. I think Nelly
and
might have
did a
been one of the
little,
celebs.
yeah, and did a little chair dance with them, and caused them to have to put their hands in front of their crotches for a little bit, because that's a moment of power. That's a moment of, yeah, the power dynamic being shifted in these situations where women, at that time, do experience a large amount of power over men in that moment. And that's a very vulnerable moment for men to be in.
Yeah.
And she's mastered that. Janet has definitely mastered that.
Yeah.
And I think we got to tell people now, J Ray, we got to give people our, let's do three.
Three? Okay.
Let's do three of our favorite Janet slow jams. And you go first.
Okay. So I didn't write any of these down, and I probably said them in some version of a show before.
Mhm.
But my first favorite is actually Lonely, which is interesting. Lonely is not a love song in the traditional sense of a love song. Lonely is a slow jam from Rhythm Nation 1814. And she is talking about friends who are experiencing a difficult time,
Oh, okay.
depression, reaching out for help to call anytime you feel the need, call me when you're lonely, right? One of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard and can easily be mistaken for a traditional love song. But that's the beauty of Rhythm Nation. Can I say something real quick? I know we're talking about our favorite love songs, but I want to make sure that we give Janet props for this. Janet Jackson decidedly chose to make black music. She
Yes.
decidedly chose to make message music when she ain't have to do none of that. Like she literally, Janet Jackson could have been a pop girly in the vein of everyone else. And she decidedly made a black album and decidedly made a message album at a time when she didn't have to. And Rhythm Nation goes so hard as a record. And so to have a song like Lonely on it as a slow jam is, in my opinion, like revolutionary. Because it's like, I'm gonna take the slow jam format, but I'm gonna give you a message behind it that's not about this sort of thing that you would expect. So Lonely, two, Um, Anything from The Velvet Rope, Dear God in Heaven. Shout out to that song. The Velvet Rope has many gems, but anything is one of my favorites. It definitely sounds like one of my like 1997, but in a really good way. And oh, what's going to be my last one? I think my last one is going to be. Oh no, she's just featured on that. Okay, my last one is going to be Funny How Time Flies. I love that song. It just never gets old. It's a staple on Quiet Storm Radio. And so of the Janet's anything is kind of a sex song, but I think Funny How Time Flies is like a traditional sort of like sexy Janet slow jam. So those are my three. What are yours?
I'm not I'm not mad at any of those. Okay, so I'm going to start with this kind of has more of a groove than you would expect for like a slow jam, let's get it on video song, but I absolutely love When We Ooh. When We Ooh
Great song.
is I love the I don't know what instrument that is that's playing back there, but we get a good thunderstorm sound effect in the background when
Of
that song
course.
starts and the strings come in. I love the way it comes in. And yeah, When We Ooh is definitely one of my favorite Janet slow jams.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, I just have to, I'm a bit of a bird. I have my ratchet
Bird tendencies.
tendencies. My bird tendencies. I had a moment in time where I was DJing at a strip club, and this song would always turn it. Would you mind?
Oh.
Would you mind is the nicest, plainest way to ask somebody to
Yeah.
you, but it's done in such a playful, sensuous, slow. It's the way you want the act to happen. I think
Mm-hmm.
her songs definitely the pacing of the song is how we would like for the act to happen. We would like for the foreplay to take place before you get to the main course of the meal, you know? And yeah. Um Would You Mind is definitely, and I hate that you can't get that song. You can't get it as a single. You have to really buy the whole album to get that song. I don't know why. This is one of them weird things. But anyway, and so I think we were on the same wavelength as our last one because it's not her song, but
Oh, you're
I
about to
still
say what I was
consider it
thinking.
I still consider it part of the Janet pantheon. Is that Making Love in the Rain
See,
is
yes.
just,
That's
you
where I
know,
was.
we're staying on this rain motif. I'm
Right.
sorry. Even though being outside in the rain and trying to be intimate sound is the ickiest,
Yeah, that doesn't sound
most
fun.
uncomfortable thing that you can experience. I'm not saying that I've experienced, but I don't like being I don't
Wet.
like being wet while I'm trying
Janet would not
while you're
approve of this show.
exactly trying to, people that enjoy shower sex. Hats off to you. I feel like I could drown in the shower. But anyway, that's a different whole that's another conversation for a different kind of podcast. But yeah, Making Love in the Rain, Herb Albert and
Lisa
Lisa
Keith.
Frank.
Lisa
Lisa Keith.
Keith,
I don't know
baby.
what Lisa Frank.
Who was that white woman was singing
Did y'all know that
down.
was a white woman? She was carrying on those backgrounds. Y'all
Carrying.
have no idea. But yes, Lisa Keith. But I still consider that part of the Janet pantheon. So those are definitely my favorite Janet slow jams. But where's one slow jam that we did not mention, J Ray? And I think I introduced it to you via a video that you had never seen before. And this is why I love a good song can be interpreted in so many ways. And if you're a fan of Issa Rae's earlier work, You know what this video is that we're playing right now. It's from a short that she called The Church. Yes, the choir. No, the
The
choir.
choir.
And what's happening right now is the choir director has put together a lovely rendition of Anytime, Anyplace and turned it into a gospel song. And the hilarity, of course, ensues. We're getting the lead choir singer, touching herself just a little bit, but she's talking about Jesus because you want Jesus to walk with you. You want Jesus beside you. You want Jesus inside of you
You
as
want
well,
Jesus inside.
so that you could be full of Christ's love and throw your head back with abandon, just like what she's doing in this video. If you haven't seen it, look up the choir on YouTube. It's from Issa Rae's. Look at that finish where the microphone is just gliding down her body and singing in the thunder. Can you imagine in the thunder and
In
rain
the third.
in church? In the thunder
So,
and rain.
y'all, I had never ever seen this before we were having our meeting getting ready for this show. And and DJ Sir Daniel's face was like, I don't understand what you're saying right now. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's
This
like you've never
right
seen this.
this brings me so much joy. It's the most ridiculous and my favorite. If you want J Ray's kind of humor, it's this. I want to go to this church because I would be in the audience like, yes.
I've said it. I am the young lady in the choir that is just giggling throughout the whole thing. That's me. I am going to be no good. I will not be able to look at anybody because I'm here for the carrying on and for the shits because I love foolishness. This is camp. Now we hadn't talked about we rarely talk about Tyler Perry movies
Right.
around here. But I know everybody has been talking about that the latest movie that he put out, Divorce in Black. I wish Tyler Perry would lean into camp. This is camp. The choir, this performance of Anytime, Anyplace in church, that's camp.
Yes.
I think we would we and Tyler would win if he just went full on camp in the best way possible. But that's all we're going to talk about that. But yes, I'm glad I was able to introduce you and your spirit, J. Ray, to this part of being a Christian.
But
And
wait.
I bet you never thought you could be touched like that in church.
I never, I never ever thought that I would be touched in this way. So to that point, that is also the mark of an artist who's made an impact. Because here you got a Janet Jackson song being interpolated in this comedic way, and it works so well. So yeah, this is fun. That was fun. Thank you for introducing the
It
choir
opened
to
the
me.
Yes, I think it opened the doors also for what's that other song? Dip It Low for Jesus
Dip
or
it low for Jesus.
yeah. So this could actually be Janet has yet again pioneered another lane.
Yeah.
Like slow and sexy jams for the Christian in your life that, they don't necessarily want to go out and experience these things or do them yet because, that's just not how they roll
Yeah.
because the Bible says so. But, that doesn't mean that you and your heavenly father can't, get it in real quick.
Oh my God. Y'all, thank you so much. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us as we loved on Janet Jackson and her slow jams, as well as just her career in general. Please go back, take a listen to, I think it's episode 46 We talked about Janet Jackson around the time of her documentary.
Thank you, first of all, to everybody joining us again on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, that's commenting and just being a part of the conversation. We absolutely love you for it. I agree with Jason in the chat. This has probably been my favorite episode ever so far. We went from, you know, getting freaky with Jesus and Janet to talking about the RNC and all that foolishness that's popping off over there. But that's what you're going to get on the Q Points podcast.
Yup.
And J Ray, we would be remiss if we did not remind the people of how they can keep in contact with us and find us whenever they want a piece of Q Points.
Absolutely. Yo, please let us know, by the way, we're on IG. Please let us know, IG folks. Do you like us coming on live and y'all can watch the show on IG? Let us know by sending us an inbox. We would love to hear from you. For everyone who joined us this evening, thank you so much for just hanging out with us and going on this journey, because it was a journey for this particular episode. And the most important thing that you can do is watch the show. So wherever you are watching, watching or listening, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If they have a notification bell, hit the notification bell so you can know when we have new shows. Definitely go and visit our website, qpoints.com. You can sign up for our newsletter there. You can also read Q Points magazine, where we have other things that kind of support the show. You can do that. You can certainly keep the lights on over in Q Points land by shopping our store at store.qpoints.com. Definitely check that out. If you want to hang out with us in New York, as we talked about earlier in the show, we are going to be at the Banji Boombox Festival in Brooklyn on August 3rd. Brooklyn's in the house. So definitely come and hang out with us. We'll make sure that the links so that you can purchase tickets and hang out with your boys is absolutely there. One other thing, Sir Daniel, we have a bunch of folks. We want to thank our folks listening on Pandora. Sir Daniel and I are really, really excited about all the stuff that's happening with Pandora. So if you are checking out Q Points on Pandora, we thank you so much. There's going to be more to come. If you are listening to the show and you are not checking us out on Pandora, go ahead and download that Pandora app, because there's going to be other stuff that you can do over there that is Q Points related. So more to come on that in August. But yeah, thank y'all so much for being here with us.
Absolutely. And what do I always say, Jerry? In this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
I'm J Ray, y'all. Peace.
And this has been Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We'll see you on the next go round.